Hello students, today we are starting with the topic accounting for non-profit organizations. First we'll see the difference between regular business organizations and non-profit organizations. The regular business organizations' main objective is to earn profit, but non-profit organizations, which are also known as NPOs, these organizations' main objective is to provide services to its members. Therefore, the meaning of NPO is the organizations which work for the welfare of the society. Examples of such organizations are schools, charitable institutes, hospitals, and sports. Next, we'll see features of non-profit organizations. These organizations' main aim is to serve the society. These organizations are formed with some idealistic purpose, such as the religious, charitable, and to provide education. Subscribers of such organizations are called as members of those NPOs. The surplus of such organizations will not be distributed to the members. For example, in case of partnership firms, usually the profit of the firm will be distributed to the partners. But if there is any surplus earned from such organizations, non-profit organizations, then those surplus or the profits will not be distributed to the members. But such profits will be transferred or the adjusted with the capital fund. Next one, these organizations are controlled by the managing or the executive committee. This committee is elected by the members of that organizations. The main source of income of such organizations are first one, the subscription. Subscription means the membership fees which is paid annually by the members. It is membership fees which is paid annually by the members. Next one is donation. Donations, there are two types. First one is specific. These donations are given by the donors for some specific purpose. For example, building fund, which will be given by the donors to for the development of the building. Next one, general donation. General donation are the donations given by the donors without mentioning the specific purpose or without mentioning the utilization of such fund. Next one, legacy. Legacies are the amount transferred to the NPOs through the will of deceased person. Next one, grant in aid. Some non-profit organizations like schools, hospitals receive the grant from the government. This will be considered as income for such non-profit organizations. And these non-profit organizations may have some investment like FDs or investment in mutual funds or shares. From such investments, if they are receiving any income, maybe the interest or the dividend, such incomes are also considered as the income for the non-profit organizations. Before moving to the topic accounting for non-profit organization, first we need to understand the classification of transaction. On the basis of nature of transactions, it can be classified as revenue transaction and capital transactions. Revenue transactions are regular transactions which are related to the regular operations of the business. For example, sale of goods, fees received, salary paid, rent paid, such transactions are called as revenue transactions. Revenue transaction can be classified as revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Examples of revenue receipts are fees received, subscriptions received, interest on investment. These receipts are generally received at least once in a year. Next one, revenue expenditures. Revenue expenditures are regular expenditures of the business organization. These are generally paid at least once in a year. For example, salary paid, rent paid, printing and stationery expenses, interest on loan. Next one is capital transactions. Capital transactions are non-recurring transactions that are incurred in irregular intervals of more than 1 year, say once in a 5 year or once in a 10 year. For example, building purchased, machinery purchased, or some loan paid, amount received from sale of fixed asset. Such transactions are called as capital transactions. Capital transaction can be classified as capital receipts and capital expenditure. Examples of capital receipts are loan borrowed, sale of fixed asset, capital received, investment matured. For example, if any fixed deposit is matured and the amount is received, such transaction, such receipt is called as capital receipt. Next one, capital expenditure. Examples of capital expenditure are loan repayment. The principal value paid is called as the capital expenditure, and the interest on loan paid is called as the revenue expenditure. Next, the fixed asset purchased. Next, the investments. Let us start with the accounting for non-profit organizations. The financial statements under non-profit organizations are receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. So whenever in a question it is asked to prepare the financial statements of the non-profit organization, you need to prepare receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. We'll see the format of receipt and payment account. On the debit side, we record the receipts, and on the credit side, we record the payments. Now, first, when you start with receipt and payment account, you have to record the opening balance of cash and opening balance of bank account. If you have a debit balance, you will record it on the debit side. If there is a credit balance, you will record it on the credit side. This is the opening balance. At the end of the statement, you will record the closing balance on the other side by closing balance of cash and bank. So it is as good as the cash account. Receipt and payment account is equal to the cash account. Here on the receipt side, you will record the cash receipts, and on the payment side, you will record the cash payments. It may be revenue or it may be the capital transactions. You will record both type of transactions here. If you are receiving cash, you will record it in receipt and payment account. If you are making payment in cash, you will record it in receipt and payment account. For example, asset purchased. If you paid the amount, you will record it in receipt and payment account, even though it is capital expenditure. Asset sold. If you are receiving the income, if you are receiving it in cash or check form, if you are receiving the balance, then you will record it in receipt and payment account. Fees received, it is a revenue transaction, but still if you are receiving the cash, you will record it in receipt and payment account. So it is as good as the cash transaction. Next one is income and expenditure account. In income and expenditure account, on the debit side, we record the expenditures, and on the credit side, we record the incomes. It is called as income and expenditure account, but first we have to record on the debit side the expenditures and on the credit side the incomes. Here we record only the current year transactions. For whatever year you are preparing the accounts, for the same year you will record the transactions. If any transactions are related to the previous year, next year, it will be excluded from the income and expenditure account. Now, in income and expenditure account, you record only the revenue transactions. it is as good as the profit and loss account. Like in case of regular business, you prepare profit and loss account, but in case of non-profit organization, you prepare income and expenditure account. Now, as we know, income and non-profit organizations says it is not for profit. So if we earn profit, we cannot show it as profit. So that's why if our income is more than our expense, we will earn the profit, which is called as surplus here. Excess of income over expenditure is surplus. If your expenditure is more, you will have the deficit, that is loss. If your expenditure is more than your income. Next one, we'll move to the balance sheet. In balance sheet, we record the liabilities and the assets. These are always of capital nature. So what things you should remember is, in receipt and payment account, you will record only the cash transaction, cash receipts and cash payments. Here you will record revenue plus capital transactions. Next one, in income and expenditure, you record only the current year transactions, and which should be only the revenue transactions, which are related to the business, which are in course of business. For example, fees received, rent paid, salary paid, interest on loan paid, interest on investment received. These all are revenue transactions. Next one, balance sheet. Here you will record only the capital transaction and balance of liabilities and balance of assets. This is the format for calculating income or the expenditures which should be recorded in income and expenditure account. We will take into consideration the cash received or cash paid, which will be given in the receipt and payment account. To this value, we need to add the current year outstanding. We need to deduct the previous year outstanding balances. To the balance, we need to add the advance which is available in previous year balance sheet, and we need to deduct the advance which is available in current year balance sheet. From this calculation, we will get the amount which should be recorded in income and expenditure account. Whenever the receipt and payment account amount is given and we need to prepare income and expenditure account, that time we will follow this format to calculate the amount which should be recorded in income and expenditure account. Let's try to understand this format using one example. In this example, we need to prepare income and expenditure account for this school for the year 2019-20. So in income and expenditure account, as I said before, we can record only the current year transactions. In this example, our current year is 2019-20. With this detail, another information is given that one student fees per year will be rupees 1000. Now, during the year 2019-20, this school collected total cash of rupees 14,000 as fees. Cash received is 14,000 rupees. This is cash received for the year. It is not necessary that this 14,000 rupees is related only to this financial year. It may be related to the previous year or the next year. Now, other information given are, for the financial year 2019-20, some students took admission in that school. Out of all the students, these two students could not pay the fees. So their fees was outstanding for the year 2019-20. That means for the current year, that is 2019-20, these two student fees is outstanding. Per head 1000 rupees, so total 2000 is outstanding for current year. Now, is it related to this year? Yes, it is related to current year, but is it already included in 14,000 rupees? No. So we need to add this to the 14,000 rupees. That's why we will add the current year outstanding. Next, another information is given that out of these all students, there was one student whose fees was outstanding in the previous year. He paid fees now in this 14,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees related to this previous year student is paid in this year. Is it related to current year? No. It is related to the year 2018-19, which means previous year. It is previous year transactions for which you are receiving income in this year. So it is not related to this year. That's why we need to deduct it from our balance. Next one, in the financial year 2019-20, you can see this blue color student. She paid the fees in advance in previous year. That means in the year 2018-19, that time only she paid 1,000 rupees fees in advance. Did she pay in the year 2019-20? No. Is it recorded in this 14,000? No. It was there in the previous year cash received. In this 14,000, the new student or this blue color student fees is not included. But she is related to the current financial year. She is related to the year 2019-20. That's why we need to add the fees of this girl which is paid in advance in the previous year. So we will add the advance which is paid in previous year. Next, there were 3 students who want to take admission in the next year, but they paid fees in advance. Now, these 3 student fees you are receiving in the year 2019-20. But are they related to this year? No, they are not related to this year. In this current year, you are receiving their amount as advance. So that's why their fees is not related to our current year. That's why we need to deduct it from this 14,000 rupees. So we will deduct the advance which is received in the current year. So after all this calculation, the balance which you will get, that will be your current year income. This 10,000 rupees is your current year income, which will be recorded in our income and expenditure account. 10,000 rupees on income side, the fees received 10,000. So this is how we'll follow the format. That is, to the cash received, we need to add the current year outstanding. We need to deduct the previous year outstanding. We need to add the previous year advance. Then we need to deduct the current year advance. I hope now you understood this format. Now we'll continue the practical questions from the next class.